What's going on, guys? Welcome to a video on Justin Higgins Fit. First video we're making here is about NASM. NASM, if you don't know, is the National Academy of Sports Medicine. They offer personal training certifications, dietitian certifications, basically a bunch of certifications if you want to become a PT. They have a bunch of different options, a lot of variety, a lot of individual certifications. Like if you want to be a strength coach, they have those type of courses. And I'm going to be talking about some of the pros and cons that come along with getting these certifications and what I think about their curriculum. I did get my certification for this exam in August of 2022, and I did enjoy the certification to an extent. There is a lot of saturated content in there, and they don't even cover most of the content in there. I'll get into that in a minute, and the pros and cons of why you should or should not take this exam. I think one of the pros is that allows you to have your NASM certification first and foremost. When you're applying for personal training jobs and trying to get clients as an independent PT, it becomes a lot easier to justify why they should take your business over others. It becomes a lot easier for them to gain your trust and show that you're knowledgeable as a PT when you do have one of these certifications. This information can be useful as well if you have a limited fitness knowledge or you want to diversify your demographic of clientele. If you're going into a scenario where you're trying to train a 50-year-old client and you're not really familiar with the ups and downs of what a 50-year-old client may have issues with, it can become helpful if you do have this certification because they do have information of what to look for in these situations. But if you're a average Joe, normal state-of-the-art human being, and you're training 20 to 30-year-olds, you should already have a very specific knowledge of what that person will need to achieve their goals, especially if you're an informed fitness influencer, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're educating yourself already, you won't need the certification just because the information provided to you throughout the course, you should already know. And most of the stuff that I personally didn't know that was in there was anatomy stuff that, oh, this is this bone. This is how the heart works, which if you're training a healthy person, you don't even have to know that because they're going to be asking you, what are the best leg exercises? My quads aren't growing. How do I lose weight? What should I do if my biceps aren't getting bigger? I don't have the arm width I like. I'm not getting chest strength like I used to. You should know all these things. You should know already how to perform progressive overload. All these things should be in your knowledge and vocabulary already. So if you're trying to get the certification to become a Instagram influencer, don't do it. It's a waste of $800, $400, whatever. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your money. And you can learn this stuff on YouTube and Google. If you are trying to broaden your clientele, you're trying to get people personally, then I would say at that point, it could be worth you getting a PT license just because the information provided to you could be a bit more in-depth than what you could find on Google. Either way, the information you find on Google will be pertinent to whoever you're talking to because information is so saturated in today's society and online that it's really easy for you to come across all the information you would need to train anyone online. You don't need the certification specifically. It just helps a little bit to your credibility if you do have one. Now let's move on to the cons, because I talked about a couple of the cons being as all the information provided to you can be found online, and a lot of the information isn't even discussed within their curriculum in the final exam. The inconsistency in their information and curriculum, especially with movements and anatomy discussed in the textbook, is really prevalent in year-to-year test taking. So the tests will change yearly, and it's kind of odd being as though we know what traditionally works for fitness and what doesn't. Yet your test changes year to year simply because you want people to fail so that they have to pay more money to renew their exam, learn new things, and half the stuff, probably about 3/4 of the textbook that you read, isn't going to be included in the final exam. So you're basically taking a test on 3/4 of the knowledge provided to you. Most of the information you find can be found online using Google and YouTube. Most of the information I found when I started out was on Google and YouTube. I use workouts by AthleanX, Ryan Humiston. Those are the two big guys that I would recommend to anyone starting out. I'm going to be talking about some workouts that I did when I started. I started off as a junior in high school and I gained 40 pounds in about 3 months. So I think I have a decent idea of what I'm doing, especially for my body type. I feel like I look pretty good. If you're trying to bulk, I can understand that as well. That's what I was trying to do. But all this information that you're trying to find online or through NASM it's not going to change you into some amazing PT overnight. What's going to change you into that is getting information from a bunch of different sources, being able to find out what works for you and what works for others, and being able to translate that into something someone who is not as experienced as you can understand. That will make you a better PT than any of these courses. Like I was saying, the exam constantly changes. It doesn't favor useful information that'll make you a better personal trainer. What they try to do is teach you how to market yourself as an individual PT and try to really get yourself out there and get clients. But in the end, if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to maintain those clients. And the goal overall of being a PT should be to teach someone how to do something themselves. I shouldn't be able to teach someone how to fish and they have to come back to me every month and re-ask how to do something. I should be able to teach someone how to fish in 2 weeks and they can do it for the rest of their life. I'm a PT and I'm trying to teach someone how to work out. I should teach them how to work out for 2 months and they're done for the rest of their life. They should be able to do anything unless they're trying something new and they have to come to me to ask my opinion about it. I shouldn't have to take you through a workout every time you go to work out unless I'm a terrible PT. All the movements that you need to learn to become stronger, more mobile, more flexible, and gain hypertrophy can be learned online. Every fitness influencer on the face of the earth has discovered every fundamental workout that has ever existed. So if you're trying to, oh, this will change me into some amazing fitness influencer, this will take me to the next level, it won't. You can find all this stuff online already. It's not very hard to do. All you have to do is look it up and you will be able to find all the information you need on YouTube and Google. YouTube and Google are the backbone of any person that's trying to learn anything because all the information you find can be there. If you want to learn it, you will. NASM isn't just going to magically make you some genius dictionary of fitness. You're going to have to do it yourself. So I would say the only reason to take this exam is to get in a job in a gym where it's required. I'd say if you were doing it personally, you should educate yourself. And when people ask you questions, you should be able to answer that in an educated way to where they know what you're talking about and you don't need a certification to back up. Oh, I can comprehend fitness, exercises, how to grow, how to lose weight, all these things you can learn by yourself. So I would say personally, unless you're going to a gym to get a job, don't take this exam. None of the exams are probably worth it unless it's required. So that's my personal opinion. If you guys have any opinions, let me know down in the comments. Like and sub. I'm going to be making a lot more videos like this. I'm going to be releasing some workouts. So if you want to follow, let me know what you think. Peace out. Let's get ripped.